Meet tonight, and the conversation quickly turns to the issue of a proposed solar farm. And we get a behind-the-scenes look at the progress on Missouri Southern's latest expansion. KOAM News at 10 is next. Now at 10, a solar company email sparks controversy at tonight's Cherokee County Commission meeting. Plus an update on major construction at Missouri Southern. And national parks remain open despite the government shutdown impacting a majority of the workforce.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
An email creating concerns over zoning and landowner rights prompts heavy attendance at tonight's Cherokee County Commission meeting. This is KOAM News. I'm Dow Quick. Tensions rise over a proposed 255 megawatt Rainbow Springs solar project. In July, we told you about a Wichita State University study showing the project could generate $532 million in economic growth and $38 million in new government revenue. The company offered $5 million to the county over 10 years and proposed to repair local roads, but many residents remain opposed. Zoning changes weren't on tonight's agenda, but commissioners addressed the issue due to the large crowd. The Planning and Zoning Board had previously said it would have a comprehensive plan completed by next summer before making a final decision on whether large commercial solar projects will be allowed in Cherokee County. Part of that process includes public meetings to discuss potential zoning restrictions, which are now set for the end of the month on October 27th, 28th, and the 30th. People can learn about groundwater cleanup efforts at a former Miami tire plant during a public meeting on October 14th. Michelin North America will host this session at the Bruce G. Carter Student Union to discuss contamination from the former B.F. Goodrich facility. The plant used and stored benzene during its production years from 1944 to 1986, contaminating groundwater. Michelin launched cleanup efforts in 2022. Company and state environmental officials will answer community questions. Lindsay Gaffney joins us now with a first look at the weather.
Temperatures today reached the mid-80s. We got up to about 85 in Joplin. Now that's close to 10 degrees above average and about 9 degrees lower than the record temperatures. So we're sitting right there in the middle of average and record temperatures for the next couple of days. Now we've definitely seen a couple of degrees warmer today than we were yesterday. Tonight, same thing, a couple of degrees warmer overnight tonight. We're getting down to the low 60s. Most of us only hitting as low as about 60 degrees. Now, not a lot going on out there. We've got mostly clear skies through Friday, actually through the weekend. Tomorrow, we're getting up to the upper 80s, about 87, 88 degrees. Again, clear skies for most of us, but there's some isolated rain chances in our far western counties, and that's going to be near Sedan and Coffeyville area, but we're going to take a closer look coming up.
Lindsay, thanks. Missouri Southern State University is giving a behind-the-scenes look at the construction underway on campus. The school's Board of Governors got to see the work being done on the Future Welcome Center and the Roy Blunt Health Science Innovation Center. Crews officially broke ground on that site back in April of 2024. The Health Science Center will offer students immersive learning opportunities, including a simulated hospital featuring radiology, a NICU, and critical care rooms.
To the level that we know that they need and that we want them to have. And that's really what's transforming. Our curriculum and our core tenets and all the work we already do will stay the same, but we're transforming how we deliver that, and it's going to change how our healthcare practitioners in the area practice.
The lead architect of the project says they plan to have substantial completion by the end of March. Now might be the perfect time for schools to expand their facilities in our area. Fall enrollment is up for a third consecutive year for the Kansas public higher education system. New state figures show enrollment at public universities is up 2.5%. Community college enrollment is up less than 1%, and technical colleges saw a whooping 6.3% increase in headcount and full-time equivalent enrollment. Overall, the number of students is up 2.2% compared to last year. PSU is just one example of enrollment growth. At Pitt State, overall enrollment is up just 0.5% from last year. However, freshman enrollment at PSU continues its 5-year climb, this time with a 10% leap. The total enrollment at Pitt is 5,803 students. The Joplin Public Safety and Justice Center will temporarily close its public entrances this week. Starting at 3 p.m. tomorrow, entrances to the police and fire departments, along with municipal court, will be shut down for construction. Crews are going to be working on the sidewalks and public entryways. The building is scheduled to reopen next Monday at 8 a.m. City officials say the work of these departments will continue as normal, but residents are asked to handle business by phone during the closure. The National Park Service is furloughing nearly 2/3 of its workforce due to the government shutdown, but the parks are still mostly open. As Gwen Baumgardner reports, there's significant concern about what might happen next.
America's national parks are open to nature, yet partially closed by politics amid a federal government shutdown. Visitors can still witness much of the park's beauty, but areas like visitor centers, concession stands, and some bathrooms are closed. That raises concerns about potential problems.
We know how people run amok when there's no supervision.
During previous shutdowns, the lack of staffing has led to a lack of decorum. Trash piling up, restrooms left uncleaned, and in 2019, illegal camping and rampant vandalism, like this damaged Joshua tree.
You're just asking for these kinds of things to happen.
Teresa Pierno is president of the National Parks Conservation Association. She says staffing for the National Park Service is down 24% since President Trump took office, not including seasonal hires. The NPCA is one of several groups arguing the park should close until the government reopens to avoid a repeat of 2019.
We had scientists, that were cleaning bathrooms, and historians and interpreters that were doing other jobs, and therefore their jobs were going undone. And so now when you go ahead and you take away and furlough most of those employees and have a very skeleton crew, they have to choose what to do and what not to do.
The uncertainty of what's ahead is also worrisome for private companies that rely on tourism.
We're obviously going to do less business. No people, we're not going to be doing any business.
The NPCA estimates gateway communities near the parks could lose $77 million a day, and the parks themselves $1 million a day from lost entrance fees. Gwen Baumgardner, CBS News, Los Angeles.
The NPCA advises if you plan a vacation to a national park, you should try to reschedule it for later this year. A woman who changed the way the world looks at wildlife is gone. Legendary conservationist Dr. Jane Goodall died today of natural causes, according to her namesake institute. Officials there say Goodall was a tireless advocate for the protection and restoration of our natural world. Goodall's fieldwork with chimpanzees included documentation of the primates' emotions and personality traits. She's also credited with changing the overall way scientists study animals. Goodall had been on a speaking tour of the U.S. when she died. She was 91 years old. The barnyard turns into the schoolhouse. Now, some high schoolers in McDonald County helped younger students with some hands-on agricultural lessons. That's coming up. But up first, Gardening 101.
In Fort Scott, the community gets an introduction into gardening. I'm Kenny Foreman, and I'll have more on that coming up.
For 48.
The K-State Research and Extension Program's Southwind District kicked off its 7-part series on small-scale farming tonight at Fort Scott Community College. KOAM's Kenny Foreman takes us there.
Just under 40 people were in attendance at Fort Scott Community College to hear K-State Southwind District Horticulture Agent Krista Harding give a presentation on gardening.
I think it's self-satisfying too to be able to produce your own food for your family's consumption, and there's definitely kind of a steep learning curve to being successful to that, and so tonight we hope to give the people the tools that they need.
Since not all attendees are experienced gardeners, she hopes to clear up any misconceptions.
It definitely takes some labor to do it. You can't just plant a vegetable and walk off and leave it and expect it to produce. You do have to put some time and effort into it.
To Harding, the first step in gardening is actually pretty simple.
They just need to get started. I think anybody can be successful in growing their own food. You just have to start somewhere, whether that's in a traditional garden setting, or maybe even just venturing over and planting a few vegetables like a tomato in a container.
She's hopeful those interested will reach out to the Southwind District in the future.
If they have trouble with pests, insect pests, disease pressure, whatever the case might be, we can actually help them identify those pests and give solutions to help try to solve their problems.
The next session, Pests, Predators, and Protection, will be held right here at Fort Scott Community College next Wednesday, October 8th at 6 p.m. Reporting in Fort Scott, Kenny Foreman, KOAM News.
Harding says all are welcome to attend any of the sessions. People are not required to attend them all. McDonald County High School students brought the classroom to the barn today, kicking off Ag Day for elementary students. Second graders from all across the district were invited to the McDonald County Fairgrounds to explore farm life through hands-on experiences that included plant science exploration and a look at modern farm equipment.
So they've spent weeks preparing for questions that they think the second graders would have and help being prepared. And then the kids always come in with these other questions. And I always like to see and listen to them and figure out how they're answering those questions for them.
The students were also able to learn from high school agriculture students. The Miami Public Library showcases a local artist every month, and this month the work of Sean Gray is up for all to see. Gray's been painting since he was a child and is passing his passion on to his own kids. Art runs in his blood since he's a descendant of Gene Autry and Will Rogers. Sean Gray enjoys painting landscapes.
One of them is inspired by a location. I like to think of it as the Cherokee homeland out east, North Carolina, Georgia, that kind of area, the Appalachians.
If you're a local artist who would like to have your work showcased, you can contact the Miami Public Library for more information. Lindsay returns next with a complete look at our forecast, and a little bit later, people flock to Grove, Oklahoma for the annual Pelican Fest.
We've had some pretty warm temperatures these last couple of days. Today we're a few degrees warmer than yesterday. Now let's go ahead and take a look outside downtown Joplin from the Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex. We have mostly clear skies tonight, which is a nice change of pace. We had a pretty cloudy day the other day, but we're going to see mostly clear skies for the next couple of days. As we head into Thursday, though, we could see an isolated shower or two as it moves into our western counties. That's going to be out near Sedan, but not quite making it into southeastern Kansas. Instead, we've got a high pressure system that sets up. You can see how those winds lift a little higher there. They're going to be moving into our area, which drives up our temperatures over the next couple of days. But like I said, looking at our future track, we have a slight chance for an isolated shower or two out there in our far western counties. So moving through the morning, temperatures again only getting down to the low 60s, and through mid-morning again, Sedan, maybe Fredonia could see some very isolated showers. Outside of that, mostly just a few clouds moving into southeastern Kansas, northeastern Oklahoma. By 1 o'clock, temperatures are already in the mid 80s, and we'll be getting into the upper 80s by the afternoon. 88 in Joplin, Carthage, Lamar, Pittsburgh, 87 out there, southeastern Kansas, Columbus, Oswego, Parsons, 84 in Yates Center. Not too terrible out there, but still a slight chance of an isolated shower or two again in the evening out there in our far western counties, Sedan, Fredonia, Yates Center, maybe even Independence. Temperatures are very similar for the next couple of days as we are heating up a little bit. Now, currently, we're back down into the mid 70s and upper 60s. We'll be getting down to about 63 in the Joplin area, but some of us as low as about 60 degrees. Now, Thursday, Friday, upper 80s, 88 on Thursday, 87 on Friday. Our average temperature is in the mid to upper 70s, so we're about 10 degrees above average for the next couple of days. Back down a couple of degrees cooler by Saturday. Now, continuing outside of our actual temperatures, our feels like temperatures is very close to what it is actually going to be. We don't have a high heat index, so what you see is what you get. 87 in Joplin, Pittsburgh, Baxter Springs, 86 out there in Sedan on Thursday. On Friday, again, very similar, 86 in Joplin, 85 in Carthage, and 87 up in Iola. Fort Scott, a little bit warmer up northwest. Now, we've got a pretty dry forecast for the next 7 days. Temperatures start to cool back down by Monday and Tuesday into the low 80s. Then by Wednesday, we're in the upper 70s. That's about average where we should be this time of year. And we also see some isolated storm chances starting to creep back in Wednesday. Now, we are getting closer to average next week, though cooler temperatures are still on the horizon in the next couple of weeks.
Lindsay, thanks. Still ahead, Pitt State's coming off their third straight win, defeating Emporia State with a dominant performance in the run game. We're going to have details for you coming up. And Gorillas quarterback Jackson Berry transferred to Pitt State prior to the season. We'll have the story of how he ended up in the crimson and gold.
Over the offseason, Pitt State had to answer an unfamiliar question. That question being, who's our quarterback? For the last 3 years, the Gorillas had Chad Dodson as a signal caller, but his graduation following last season left a hole under center. But after a competition that went deep into fall camp, Jackson Berry won the starting job. Berry, a transfer from Division I Southern Utah, has the Gorillas coming off their best offensive performance of the season, after totaling over 495 yards of offense and 42 points in their win over Emporia State on Saturday. But prior to joining the Crimson and Gold, Berry was focused on finding a program that would appreciate him. And it's safe to say that he's not only found that program, but a community that he loves.
The first thing I told Coach Anthony when he was recruiting me was I just wanted something and someone to appreciate me and what I could bring to the table, and that's exactly what they've done. So I've treated every day like it's a championship day. You know, I've put everything into it, and I'm going to continue to do so. And it's not like something I feel like, I have to. I want to, for the culture, for the city. I can see how much it means to everybody else on the team, and it doesn't mean anything less to me. It means just as much. I love this city, the way they've brought me in and allowed me into the culture and allowed me into what they've already built. It's not really for me. I just owe it to the people who came before me and who are going to come after me. So just every day treating it like it's a championship day.
A catalyst in Berry's decision to commit to Pitt State is current Gorillas safety and team captain Ryan Medeiros. Berry and Medeiros grew up together, sharing the field at Prosper High School in Texas. And during his time in the portal, Berry reached out to his longtime friend who helped sell him on PSU.
He's awesome. Of course, us growing up together, I know what type of guy he is and what type of family he has, and which are both amazing. His word has always been trustworthy. He's a loyal friend. He's a loyal player. I loved playing with him in high school. I knew who he was. We used to work out together all the time, so I kind of knew the mindset he had. So when he said the culture was what it was and what they were trying to do, I couldn't do anything but trust it.
Berry also credited the fans in the jungle, saying that the atmosphere at Southern Utah doesn't even hold a candle to the environment on game day at Carney Smith Stadium. Jackson Berry, though, wasn't the only key piece to Pitt State's win over Emporia State last week, as the Gorillas' ground game dominated with big performances from the running back duo of Cleo Chandler Jr. and Zamari Pelote-Gary. Pitt State's 1-2 punch in the backfield led the way offensively on Saturday, combining for 354 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns in the win. Talking to Chandler and head coach Tom Anthony after the game, they emphasized how dangerous this duo can be.
It was a rough couple starts for me. Got hurt a couple in the second game, I think, but it was a good game for me. I needed that one, and I'm gonna just keep building off of it. We can be dangerous, as you can see. Zamari's a great runner. I'm a great runner. You put those two together, anything can happen.
They both have the ability. I didn't know Cleo could run away from people the way he did today, so Cleo kind of shocked me a little bit. But man, both those guys, they run so hard, and they can make guys miss in the hole, and then they both can go hit home runs for you too. I knew it was there. I think the big challenge for us the first couple weeks is, we lined up and played a couple of the best defenses in the country, in Ferris State and Grand Valley and Fort Hays as well. Just their rush defense. We knew it was all pretty good, so rush yards were going to be hard to come by, but we showed sparks and ran for 200 last week against Fort Hays, and then to be able to do what we did today, just super proud of those guys up front.
The Gorillas look to make it 4 wins in a row on Saturday against Nebraska Kearney in the MIAA Game of the Week. Kickoff at 2 p.m. from the jungle at Carney Smith Stadium. Coming off their big win on Sunday over the Ravens, Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes has been recognized for his big performance. Against Baltimore, Mahomes threw for a season-high 270 yards and 4 touchdowns in the win. It is the 18th time in his career that Mahomes has thrown for 4 touchdowns in a game, and his monster performance earned him the AFC Offensive Player of the Week honors. It is the 11th time in his career that Mahomes has earned the recognition, and it's the first time since the 2023 season. Well, that's your sports. We're back with more after the break.
Ben Franklin used to say, a penny saved is a state hero.
We have some hot days coming up. Thursday, 88, Friday, 87, pretty close to the record temperatures. Now, a lot of sunshine, though, over the weekend. Temperatures cooling back down to low 80s by Monday and Tuesday. Then we start to finally see some isolated storm chances coming up on Wednesday, with temperatures returning to average.
Lindsay, thanks. The 42nd Annual Pelican Festival in Grove is set to make its return this weekend. KOAM's Mitch Adams gives us a preview.
The Grand Lake Association is in preparation for another Pelican Festival. While the birds land on the waters of Grand Lake, people will have fun and celebrate their migration.
And they've landed here. They're already here. The Pelican Festival was started, like I said, 4 decades ago, 42 years ago. So.
One of the main draws is a carnival, but other festival staples will also be on site.
Food, we've got arts and crafts, we have a caricature artist, we have free entertainment Friday night, Saturday afternoon, Saturday night under the tent in the park. Have a car show that the Grove Masonic Lodge is putting together for us to be there, and of course the huge carnival.
The Pelican Festival serves as an end to the summer season and brings the community of Grove together.
We just do our best. We bring things that we feel like people will enjoy, and we just hope that they have a good time with their family and their friends and family, and come back again next year.
Reporting in Delaware County, Oklahoma, Mitch Adams, KOAM News.
Festivities are going to start on Friday and will go through Sunday afternoon at Wolf Creek Park. Looks like the weather will be fitting. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget the morning show starts at 5 a.m. and let's make it a great tomorrow.